All right. So I'll be able to confirm that directly through here. And then as you can see, I've shown my interest for the following shift for that specific day. Same thing goes, of course, for any other types of shifts. So I could say, great, this one does not interest me. I could decline it with or without a note. And I could also just visualize my given shift and maybe not give a decision as well. Our system will be able to capture and indicate when the employee looked at the given open shift. And I could always make modifications if need be. And as you can see now, my notifications, my new ones have been removed. Same thing goes, of course, for replacement request. So I'll be able to actually go directly onto the platform and select the shift in question that an employee asked for a replacement request. In this case, I have my colleague Nilos who cannot come in, and he invited me to take a shift. And then I can say, great, yes, I'll take your shift, not a problem. And now we're just waiting for the approval from my manager to make the modifications on my schedule. So once it's been approved, it'll be assigned, and it'll be assigned directly into my shift itself. Now, coincidentally, of course, I'll be able to also submit my availabilities through the platform, for which I could do with or without an end date. So I'll be able to indicate this right here, and then update my availabilities on this side. And then from here, I'll be able to basically indicate which days I'm available. So I could tell you, great, here are my availabilities until maybe the end of June. And I'll tell you I can't work on weekends. On Fridays, I can only work from this time frame or for multiple time frames. And then I could also add a hearts to indicate my days of preference. Additionally, I'll also be able to check off this option here, which will allow me to receive replacement requests outside my given availabilities. Now, in this particular case, this would be my Saturday and my Sunday. So if ever we are looking for somebody, I'll still receive the notifications, and then from there, I'll be able to either show my interest for the shift or decline it in this case. I could also add in preferred scheduling constraints. So I'll be able to indicate how many hours I would like to have for a given week or for a pay period, if that be. I could also indicate the max number of days during the week or the weekends for which I prefer to work, how many shifts per day, so if there's split shifts, how many shifts per week, and additionally, how many shifts, max hours between those shifts if we have multiple shifts throughout the days. And then lastly, I could also indicate my preferences in teams, positions, and locations. Now, this is only applicable if we have multiple, if we're able to work on multiple locations, multiple positions, and teams. In the case that we only have one, you only have one choice to take, which is exactly my take here. So I have a couple of positions here for which I could indicate that I prefer being a barman or being in a specific position or a specific location in this case as well. So as simple as that. After that, I'll be able to submit it and save it, and then it's been submitted to my manager, waiting for to be approved. Same thing goes, of course, when it comes to my leave request. So as you can see here, I'll be able to submit my PTO. And if I were to go, want to go maybe on a vacation or anything of the sort, I'll be able to select my manager in question, who will approve it, and the bank in question. So in this case, I would like to go on vacation tomorrow in this case. And after that, I could select the number of days I want to deduct. So you can actually specify the dates for which you want to leave, or even specify the time frame, and then we'll be able to submit it for approval. So it's when it's been submitted, the manager will receive the notification, and they'll be able to indicate whether or not they need to approve it or refuse the request in question. So as simple as that. And as you can see, it's been added onto my schedule and it's pending for it to be approved. If I need to make any modifications, I can always go back on the PTO in question and modify it until it is approved. I can make any modifications if need be. Now, if I were to do example, I come in for my shift and I would like to do a time entry. So I'd be able to come here into my timesheets and actually enter my time. So I could here log my time, and then I'll be able to indicate what team, position, location now for which I worked at, the start time and end time. So let's just say I went until 3 in the morning. I could add my paid breaks, my paid unbreaks as well. And I could also add a note if need be, and I'll be able to indicate that time entry here. so fairly simple. I could also add in expenses as well. So by adding expenses, I'll simply select the expense and type. So maybe I went for a nice meal. I enter the amount, tax included, for which I paid. And after that, I could add in a description. Say I went to X restaurant or anything like that, or went to see a client. And then I could also add in and attach the file. Now, the advantage that you would have by doing this through the mobile app is that you could also take a picture. So it makes it a bit quicker when you're submitting expenses on your timesheets. So there you go. It's been added on. And again, we're always waiting for the manager to approve the following time entries or expense entries. So now for my giving shift here, as you can see, I'm waiting for an approval in question. So I'm actually able to select the shift because I'm asking for it to be replaced in this case. Now, additionally, I'll also be able to do shift swaps and any type of modifications on my schedule requests. So when I'm looking at my given schedule, if I have shifts that are assigned to me or time entries that have been done, from here I'll be able to do modifications, replacement requests, and exchanges. Great. So that covers a good part of the first steps as an employee of how to join the platform, how to view your schedule, how to apply for open shifts, submit your availabilities, your expenses, and lastly, we have the punch. So when employees come into punch, if they punch on a physical platform, they'll be able to do so. It will be a page that will look exactly like this. Employees would put in their PIN number and they'll be able to punch in and punch out. They could do so, that's already been previewed, or they could do so without. So in this case, I'm punching without. I have my photo validation that I could jump on, and then I'll be able to submit my punch. So let's go and take a look to see if we have any questions on the chat. Now we're getting a question on our blog here. Is it possible to personalize your punch nip? Yes, absolutely. So in your employee profile, you will be able to change your time clock pin of your preference. So we do have a minimum of 5 characters. So you could just simply choose the nip in question for which day you like to have. So that's not an issue. Is it possible to put your calendar on your Outlook calendar? Yes, great question. So it is something that we are able to do. Basically, once you go into your account here, on the top here, you'll be able to click on the 3 dots and then synchronize to your external calendar, for which you'll get a link. So that link specifically, you'll be copying it and adding it to your personal calendar so that you'll be able to have an automatic sync for your Evolia calendar to your example, your Google Calendar, Outlook, etc. So this is done through API and it's automatically updated every 4 hours. I think we're getting another question here. Yes, great question. So we also have a communications module. So the question is, are we able to communicate with our employees or send out notifications or information? Absolutely. So first and foremost, we have what we call the announcements tab. So if your employer sends out announcement information for your team, you'll be able to see it here in your dashboard. In this case, I'm a new employee. I have my employee handbook, and I can take a look at my attached file for my employee handbook in this case. We also have the chat module. So I'm able to also communicate with my manager directly on the platform or have group chats with the employees in question. So in this case, I will speak to example my manager here, and I'll be able to say, send a text, picture, anything of the sort, and we'll be passing through Evolia. So it's centralized, a lot more professional than communicating through personal emails or phone numbers of your employees. We're centralizing as much as possible onto the Evolia platform. Great. I think that does about it on this side. Let me just take a look if we have any other questions. Is it possible to see the shifts open in the coming months? Absolutely. So currently, any type of open shifts that you're seeing, right now we're seeing it for the next 7 days. You could go and see up to the next 90 days of what's available. And then once again, you're going through the same process. So you're clicking on the open shift, seeing the details of them, and then either showing your interest and or declining it with or without a note. Great. So I think that does pretty much all of it. Thank you everyone for attending. Very much appreciated. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out and we'll make sure to include it in our next webinar session. Thank you. Have a great day.